Hello, I'm Wayward, and this is Command & Conquer Remastered. I have a 1 versus 1 for you today on Eye of the Storm. These two players are both Nod, and they are two of the best players on the ladder right now. In the yellow, we have PaRappa56, and on the blue, and I don't know if you saw, but they kind of pathed across the map to a better location, is Khyira. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I have absolutely no clue. I'm just going to pretend. So, as two of the better players on the ladder, I'm expecting this match to be pretty good. This is a decent length, which usually means kind of some back and forth gameplay, especially with both players being really skilled with the game. So, you can see both players moving out on the map, finding each other's units. Should have a little bit of skirmishing here. This is really smart play by PaRappa, actually. So, units pathing into other units, you have to stop for a second. So, the unit that has to stop has a definite disadvantage against the mobile unit. That actually leads to a lot of standoff in lower skilled games, a lot of standoffs in lower skilled games, because you don't want to be the person who has to move into your opponent's army. Let's see what's going on over here. So PaRappa56 has 2 refineries into an airfield, getting those bikes and buggies out. Just a buggy right now, 2 and counting on the other side. We just have that airfield coming out. I think the delay due to moving that con-yard across the map, and also, of course, has 2 refineries. Got some silo creep going on. Not entirely sure why. I don't think you can cross the river. Might be able to use these sandbags to do it. I guess we'll find out in a moment. So PaRappa getting excellent map vision of the top half of the map. Runs into the tanks of Khyira, but getting absolutely full vision of his opponent's base. Everything that Khyira is doing is now visible to PaRappa, while on the other hand, Khyira is not nearly. Oh, he actually did it, so that is very cool. Managed to cross the river, I think, with sandbags. It got that sold off, so we didn't really see what's going on. Khyira playing very defensively right now. Just a lot of vehicles, a lot of base creeping, trying to get to the better Tiberium. This was a really, really sweet little trick. I was happy to see that and use it in my own games later, potentially, though I'm pretty terrible at this game. Same thing going on here, actually, with PaRappa, with that silo creeping, this nice little A-shaped base here. The base shapes in Command & Conquer Remastered are just so hilarious to me, where you just slowly creep your way across the map, building by building. Oh, almost missed this little engagement here. I have noticed recently that light tanks seem to be terrifying to non-players. I think they're just powerful enough to be a little bit of a deterrent. Wow. I am really impressed with how these players are getting across the map. 1, 2, 3... I think that's the 4th refinery so far. Decent numbers of units. Actually still has one of those silos, probably just in case. Another silo. No, really clever ways of getting across the map. I think silos cost basically nothing. More silo creeping going on from both players. And just wanted to take a quick look at what each player could see. It's really important, and I'm not sure a lot of casters do that nearly enough. I don't think he got the sell-off there, actually. That light tank kind of carrying its weight. Got some buggies mixed in over here. I think that might have been a bait silo. Interesting, got the Hand of Non coming in. I don't know that makes a lot of sense to me. Actually, both players doing that. For infantry production on the front lines, presumably. Yeah, got the rocket trooper coming out. Flame troopers on this side. Oh no, I'm sorry. With a flame trooper. That flamethrower looks a little bit like a rocket sometimes. Got to see that turret's deploy animation. That was kind of fun. Khyira kind of low on the units. Some of these sitting here doing nothing, which is really hurting him on the front lines, unfortunately. Let's see. That turret might go down. That light tank being just a little too much for it. turrets on both sides now. It's really interesting seeing people take full advantage of these mechanics. You don't get to see that a lot with some of these replays, so it's really gratifying to actually be able to see a really high skilled match going on. And that silo was eventually sold off, it looks like. All the silos sold off there. Another refinery over here. Let's see a quick look. I think 4 refineries, 4 on both sides. Right now, PaRappa looks like he's in the dominant position, has a larger army. Nicely done. I'm not sure why they keep building Hands of Nod. Got some more units coming out, but the vehicle numbers for Khyira are looking pretty bad right now in comparison to his opponent. Might have just enough here to hold this off, assuming everyone catches up. Lost vehicle due to pathing, it looked like. Looks like PaRappa can't quite decide what to try to harass. He's been attacking the refinery and the harvester. Although one thing that kind of recently occurred to me is doing damage to your opponent's buildings, they have to spend money to repair them, so even that is a little bit of economic harassment, just doing damage and forcing the repair costs. Oh, it's a power plant. That's going to be a bit of a cost to have to rebuild, of course. Nice little win there. Actually, PaRappa is doing really well economically, I think because of this refinery, actually. He's right here in the middle of all this Tiberium. Ooh, what was this sell-off for that refinery? This full harvester goes down. That is a massive coup for PaRappa. Not a lot here for Khyira, and that is a nasty army for PaRappa. Khyira is definitely on the back foot in a major way. These turrets are keeping things at bay a little bit. Up here with the main base is in severe danger. The Kanyard now under attack. I don't know that he's going to be able to save it. No, I don't think so. Fortunately got that other power plant out. But now Khyira is stuck where he is for the rest of the match. No more buildings are going to come out. Didn't even get the sell-off for the resources, I don't think. Ooh. Power plant in definite danger of going down. 2 engineers come out and are promptly killed. Real shame. Actually, some infantry coming out of seemingly nowhere. I guess from building sell-offs, but I didn't see it happen, so I apologize for that. Those buggies and bikes really paying for themselves, really decimating Khyira's base. Khyira has a bit of money now, but it's going to be really hard to make anything happen at this point. The turrets are going to hold them back, but not do much more than that. PaRappa trying to find where he can get in, trying to find where he can do the most damage. Khyira determined to defend against this, but forced to defend against this. Not really able to move out on the map and make things happen on his own. Got those turret sell-offs for additional units. And I think this force is going to just about get cleaned up. Khyira is back in this now. Still definitely behind. You see this big fleet of harvesters here for PaRappa. Another building sell-off. Attacking the ground. Delightful. Forces the sell-off of that refinery. Khyira is not out of this yet, but still definitely has a lot of ground to make up. These poor harvesters, these poor lost harvesters, running around with nothing to harvest. It's a really long distance mine there for Khyira, although PaRappa is also long distance mining as well. Resources are really low for both players at this point because of that, and actually Khyira finally looking pretty good. Oh, he has no vision of his opponent's base. This is the first he's seen of his opponent's side of the map all game, thanks to PaRappa's zoning. Both players massively scaling back their economy, or their infrastructure, to be able to devote it to production of units. Khyira trying to zone his opponent out, trying to stop him from coming out of this kind of mesa here. Pulling back, reallocating his units to try to deal with this. I think Khyira has enough to put on top, and actually he does. PaRappa's forces get mostly cleaned up and forces him back. I think Khyira is scared at this point, though. He's able to keep his opponent in this mesa type area, but only barely. PaRappa knows he can't attack into that. Zoning again. PaRappa reacting to defend his harvesters. Oh, bad engage for Khyira. Smaller force right now. Could get cleaned up and even the unit numbers up, which is basically the only thing Khyira has going for him right now. Mod battles are always hilarious. Got an artillery out for Khyira. I don't find them that useful, but I guess if these top tier players are producing them, actually he's got a ton of them now. Khyira attempting another, PaRappa attempting another run by on Khyira, doing a little bit of damage here and there, making Khyira feel nervous. Ooh, really well done. Khyira responding in kind and starting to pick on the economy of PaRappa again. These units getting chased down, and every unit at this point that PaRappa loses is a really big disadvantage for him. He's trapped in his base area right now. Really hard to keep his mining up. All the resources right now are available to Khyira. Both players running around the map like crazy people with their fast little vehicles, stopping and starting to do their pathfinding. Oh, this could be one of the last engagements of the game. Khyira, interestingly, not committing his whole force to it. What's that? Harvester. PaRappa with very few resources and a very small army at this point. Almost all of his units cleaned up. PaRappa, after a very dominant early game, I am not sure is able to get back in this. Very few units remaining, and Khyira's army is large and don't have a really good way to clean up this many light vehicles. Maybe with light tanks, but you need something close to the numbers. So after almost losing a couple of minutes ago, Khyira manages to decisively turn things back around. Really well played by both players, actually. And there's the sell-off. Excellent game. Thank you very much for watching. It'll be a pleasure to put this up and see what people think. This has been Wayward, and this has been Command & Conquer Remastered. I'll see you next time.